Today's episode is for my newer counselors, or honestly, anyone who remembers being new and thinking, wait, am I the only one who has no idea what I'm doing right now? Spoiler alert, you are absolutely not. Welcome back to the Counselor HQ podcast, where we keep it real about the counseling world, the messy, meaningful, and sometimes mildly chaotic parts. Today, we are talking about the first 5 years, what no one tells new counselors. I think the thing that sticks out most in my head about this topic was during my internship in grad school. We had to see clients. I don't know if you guys had to do this, but we had to see clients in this windowed room where there was a window that was a mirror to us, but it was the two-way mirror, whatever. Anyway, our professor and other grad students watched us while we saw clients and then gave us feedback. This was already a super anxiety provoking thing, right? You're in graduate school and you're seeing actual clients. These were mostly university students that were coming in for free counseling. But it was already anxiety provoking. But then you also had the idea that all of these people were watching you and critiquing you. And I always felt so anxious, and I was always thinking about what I was doing and what I was saying. And one time afterwards, when we were in the feedback session, my professor said, just think about your clients as human beings. And it was like a light switch went on. And from then on, my approach definitely changed. Maybe no one else had issues with this, but maybe someone does. I was so in my head about what I was doing that I was failing to see that the person I was supposed to be helping was a real person with real issues, that I actually had the skills to help. So I hope that this episode helps you in some way feel like you actually are very capable. All right, so expectations versus reality. Let's start here. Grad school did a lot of things really well. It gave you theory, ethics, frameworks, and probably a deep appreciation for caffeine. But what it didn't fully prepare you for was the emotional weight, the unpredictability. And the moment when a client says something and your brain goes, cool, I did not learn this in class. There's this unspoken expectation that once you graduate, you should feel ready, right? But the truth is, you're not stepping into mastery. You're stepping into practice. There's something to be said about learning on the job. And imposter syndrome is basically your first coworker. So we're going to talk about everyone's least favorite colleague, that imposter syndrome. It sounds like, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I miss something important? What if they realize I'm not as competent as they think I am? Here's the twist. Imposter syndrome doesn't mean you're not qualified. It means you care. It means you're aware of the responsibility that you are carrying. And honestly, the counselors who don't question themselves at all, those are the ones that we should probably be a little bit more concerned about. So let's talk about the reality of difficult cases. So no one really prepares you for those cases that stick with you. The ones you think about in the car after your session. The ones that pop into your mind while you're trying to relax. Early in your career, everything feels higher stakes because you're building your clinical intuition. You might wonder, am I helping enough? Should I be doing more? Did I miss something? Here's what I want you to hear instead. You are not supposed to have all the answers right now, or ever really. Your presence matters more than perfection. And growth comes from experience, not from getting everything right the first time. I want to talk about something that does not get enough airtime, workplace dynamics. Because counseling isn't just about clients. It's about navigating administrators, colleagues, systems, policies that make you go, that's an interesting choice. In your first few years, you're learning how to advocate for your role. You're learning when to speak up and when to let things go. And you're also learning how to set boundaries without feeling like you're doing something wrong. This is what I call the hidden curriculum of counseling, and it takes time. Sometimes it takes a lot of time. Here's the part that no one tells you clearly enough. Confidence doesn't come before you feel ready. It comes after you've had sessions that went beautifully, sessions that felt really awkward, moments where you nailed it, and moments where you thought, I think I will reflect on that one later. Confidence is built through repetition, reflection, and showing up even when you don't feel like you're doing it perfectly. So let's be real. This work is emotional work. I say this almost every episode, I feel like. You are holding space for people's pain, their trauma, their uncertainty, but you're also trying to manage your own life outside of the work that you're doing. And in those early years, it can feel like a lot. That is why support isn't optional. It's essential. That's why we have supervision, consultation. We need peer connection, even if it's just one person who gets it. You were never meant to do this work alone. And here is what I wish every new counselor knew. If I could sit down with every new counselor and tell them a few things, it would be these. You are allowed to be learning and still be effective. You don't have to prove your worth. You already belong here. Growth in this field is slow, layered, and lifelong. And that discomfort that you feel, it's not failure, it's expansion, it's learning, it's growth. So, if you're in your first 5 years and feeling unsure, overwhelmed, or like everyone else has it all figured out, let me gently remind you this is normal. You are not behind. You're becoming the counselor you were meant to be, one experience at a time. And it does take time. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a fellow counselor or grad student who might need to hear this today. If you're looking for a counseling community, we do offer that on counselorhq.net. So please reach out. We are there to help you in this growth process. And as always, take care of yourselves while you are taking care of everyone else. I will see you next time.